Morning breaks over the prairie, and Sky begins his day with calm focus. Shadow, restless at first, senses the unusual stillness in the air. A single step, a deep breath, and the journey of patience and mastery begins. A gentle morning light slowly warms the vast prairie, awakening the earth with quiet, golden, peaceful promise. Sky begins his day at the quiet stable, carefully checking the worn leather reins under the morning sun. Shadow paces restlessly inside his stall, while Sky maintains a steady, calm presence in the soft morning light. He waits patiently, allowing his own restless energy to fade away like the early morning mist passing by. Shadow watches him intently, noticing the unusual stillness that now fills the air between the man and horse. Then, he takes a slow, intentional step forward, choosing peace over his natural impulse to force his will. The wild spirit of the stallion begins to settle, sensing the genuine stillness radiating from his companion's heart. Together, they walk out into the vast open space, under the wide and brilliant canopy of the blue sky. At that moment, the gentle wind sweeps across the prairie, carrying away the last traces of impatience in Sky's heart. Gradually, the bond between man and animal grows deeper beneath the endless openness of the green prairie. After a while, their footsteps begin to move in rhythm, creating a rare harmony along the wild country path. In the shade of an ancient tree, patience begins to take root deeply within Sky's thoughts and breathing. At the same time, Shadow relaxes his neck, enjoying the fresh grass and the perfect peace of the morning. Slowly, Sky realizes that anger is only an unnecessary burden on the long road he has chosen. As the sun rises high, bright light pours over the land, reaching the quiet places inside his mind. Then, the cool stream water eases the heat of the day, giving him a pure and refreshing clarity. After a simple lunch under the tree, the same calm stillness continues to surround both man and horse. As the afternoon softens, he understands that only patience can truly guide a wild and restless spirit. At last, trust begins to bloom, closing the distance between the human heart and Shadow's proud, wary soul. In the warm colors of sunset, the day of self-training ends with a deep, quiet, and tender peace. Later, inside the familiar wooden stable, Sky cares for his horse with careful attention and gentle gratitude. Every movement of his hand feels like a sincere thank you offered to the companion who taught him today. When darkness covers the prairie, he closes the wooden door and leaves the stall wrapped in restful silence. Finally, Sky returns to his small home, carrying the lesson of self-control with a calm and grateful heart. The clear moon stretches across the night sky like a quiet blessing for a day of learning well spent. A soft morning begins again, bringing fresh life to the broad green prairie and the small wooden stable. Sky prepares a bundle of sweet hay for his companion, treating the simple task as something meaningful. Shadow waits with surprising patience, no longer showing the panic that once filled every morning in the stall. Little by little, their mutual trust becomes stronger, building a lasting bridge between the man and the horse. Before long, sunlight floods the prairie, making the distant horizon shimmer with warm and hopeful brightness. Together, the two friends walk along a narrow trail, enjoying the priceless freedom of the open land. They pause to gaze toward the far mountains, feeling the majestic stillness of nature rising around them. Slowly, Sky lets his worries dissolve into the wind, finding himself again in the peace of ordinary life. As the morning passes, Shadow begins to trot and leap, showing the proud beauty of his wild nature. A look of satisfaction appears on Sky's face as he sees his companion changing without fear or force. Back at the little kitchen, the warmth of small happiness makes Sky feel lighter than he has felt in years. After a humble midday meal, he rests beneath the large tree, listening to leaves whisper in the new sunlight. When the afternoon arrives softly, he realizes that mastering himself is the key to opening every hard door. Then, calmness surrounds them while Shadow settles into a short nap under the bright and peaceful summer sky. At last, sunset reddens the horizon, closing another day filled with valuable experience in the arms of nature. Sky lights the warm yellow lamp, and the small stable instantly becomes familiar, gentle, and deeply peaceful. He checks the bedding once more, making sure his four-legged friend will sleep safely and comfortably tonight. From that moment, the darkness passes gently, leaving a clear, quiet atmosphere around every trace of stillness. Sky walks slowly toward his home, carrying the simple joy of the day whole and bright inside his soul. Above him, the star-filled sky seems to watch over his patient path with silent admiration and kindness. The next dawn breaks through the leaves, waking the whole prairie into bright life once again. Sky prepares the saddle with care, his excitement for the new day's work rising quietly in his chest. Together, they move out across the field, where freedom and friendship continue to grow stronger with every step. After a while, they begin their herding work gently, without pressure, without shouting, and without unnecessary haste. In the warming kitchen of his heart, Sky feels steadier when facing the small trials of the morning. After a simple lunch, the whole landscape seems to pause, giving both friends a strange and welcome rest. When afternoon comes softly, he understands that a quiet mind can make every difficulty easier to cross. His footsteps become firmer, no longer hurried by irritation, fear, or the old habit of impatience. At last, complete joy shines in Shadow's clear eyes as the horse plays freely across the grass. In the colors of evening, the two companions slowly return to their familiar wooden home on the prairie. Sky closes the stable door with care, letting the horse rest in complete safety through the coming night. Under the stars, he walks back home, feeling a gentle sense of achievement settle deep inside him. The night sky becomes a silent melody, guiding him into sleep with rare and comforting peace. Before long, sunrise returns, marking another hopeful beginning across the wide open prairie. The young horseman prepares everything carefully, his spirit now moving in harmony with the land around him. He and Shadow walk beneath the early light, each step filled with confidence, patience, and quiet respect. Gradually, the work flows like music, proving that calmness can bring results that force never could. After a while, the bright sun shines over the grassland, filling the world with a generous kind of joy. In the warm happiness of noon, Sky finds stillness again beneath the shade of the friendly tree. After their modest lunch, the connection between man and animal feels deeper and steadier than ever before. As afternoon softens, Sky understands that steady devotion has gently reached the heart of the once wild horse. The trail grows familiar, and every step home carries a sense of grounded and lasting peace. At last, night falls. Sky closes the stable and leaves his beloved horse to rest in safety. In the quiet landscape, he returns home, knowing the day's lesson has settled deep into his heart. The glittering sky seems to celebrate the patient growth of the young horseman who learned to master himself. Morning light returns gently, opening another day of work, affection, and sincere responsibility. Every small detail is handled with care, and that carefulness becomes the hidden beauty of his labor. Their footsteps blend on the trail, forming a wonderful connection that belongs only to that quiet day. Slowly, Sky discovers that self-control is an endless source of strength when facing any challenge. The sharp sunlight spreads across the prairie, making the whole grassland appear young, bright, and alive. At midday, Sky's heart softens again in the open space and the gentle breath of summer. After a simple meal, he and his little friend enjoy a priceless moment of rest under the sky. When afternoon descends, every breath they share seems to join the rhythm of perfect stillness. Then, peacefulness becomes visible around them as they return together to the warm shelter of home. At last, everything feels stable, and self-control becomes a living part of who Sky is. In the dark night, he walks softly, carrying many quiet joys inside his complete and thankful heart. The moon glitters above as though applauding a man who has learned to govern his own mind. Dawn colors the horizon again, bringing a new day filled with stillness, kindness, and renewal. Sky prepares the stable with focus, making every movement clean, calm, and almost meditative. Together, he and Shadow enter the natural world, where patience and the prairie feel like one spirit. Little by little, yesterday's difficulties no longer feel heavy because Sky has learned how to release them. Soft sunlight falls across the grass, warming his spirit after many days of steady practice and reflection. When evening arrives, he knows that peaceful restraint gives daily life its truest and most enduring beauty. The road back home glows under sunset, closing another meaningful chapter in his journey of growth. At last, all things sink into nighttime peace, completing a story shaped by patience, trust, and self-control. Yet the lesson remains alive within him, quiet as the moonlight and steady as Shadow's breathing. Whenever impatience rises again, Sky remembers the stallion's eyes and returns to the strength of stillness. He understands that a wild heart is not conquered by pressure, but invited gently through trust. Every creaking board of the stable seems to remember the morning when anger finally began to loosen. Every stretch of prairie seems wider now, because his mind no longer fights against the path before him. Shadow, once restless and guarded, now stands close enough for Sky to hear his calm breath. That simple sound becomes a teacher, reminding him that true leadership begins with listening before acting. The boy who once rushed toward answers now learns to wait until the right answer arrives. The horse who once resisted every command now follows the quiet confidence carried in Sky's hands. Together, they become a small lesson for the prairie, a moving picture of patience made visible. The sun, the grass, the wind, and the distant mountains all seem to witness their change. By the stable door, Sky leaves fresh water, smooths the hay, and whispers one gentle promise. He promises never to forget that kindness can be stronger than force when the heart is steady. Shadow lowers his head, as if accepting that promise